Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my life. I'm also going to start saying thank you very much to anyone who bothers watching these. I know they're not the most entertaining of videos out there on the internet. You could be watching puppies or kittens or something, so thank you for listening to my rambling. So today didn't really go as planned. It was supposed to be pain club today, and I had a couple of quite important letters to post. I was still sat there. But if you remember yesterday, I was feeling pretty rotten, and it turns out that I just wasn't recovered from yesterday at all. So there was no way that I was fit to drive, especially since the weather was awful. It was absolutely chucking it down with rain all day. So I made an attempt to call in sick, as it were, to Pain Club, but they don't have a direct line themselves. You just have to call the Northern General Hospital and hope that somebody will pass the message on. And I did try, I really did try. I got an answer phone which gave me a number, but I couldn't remember what the number was. Fortunately for me, Stephen is an angel, and he kept on trying, and after 11 attempts he managed to get through to someone and let them know that, well, he said that I was in too much pain for Pain Club, which I suppose is kinda true, but mostly I was in too much fatigue for Pain Club. The constant queasiness of yesterday just took it out of me, and I was still feeling, in fact I still am, you know that feeling you get when you've had too much of something salty and your lips feel like dry. That's one of the reasons I've got lipstick on. The other is I got a parcel with new lipstick, so I had to try it, because you do. Yeah, and the back of your throat feels weird. You have a funny taste in your mouth and you just feel ridiculously dehydrated. I have that feeling. It's a little bit like being hungover without any of the fun part of getting drunk beforehand. And I don't know where it's come from. I did have some salt and vinegar crisps a couple of days ago, but this is a most unusual reaction, if that's the cause. So today I slept until about 9:30 in the evening, with the exception of the brief period when I was awake to try and make phone calls to talk to Stephen. This meant that I couldn't take my meds as I should. I sort of grouped together my morning meds and my evening meds and took all the ones that don't overlap. Now, the fact that I'm sleeping so much means I'm not drinking enough, means I am actually dehydrated, as well as whatever is causing this weird hangover, salt hangover, whatever feeling. I'm not eating sensibly at all. There was a start to that, and I genuinely can't remember where that conversation started from. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, something to do with taking my meds in the right order and sleeping too much, I think. But yeah, sleeping so much means not taking meds at the right time. When you're in flare or having a flop or crashing or however you choose to describe it, it becomes a sort of vicious circle, because everything that you need to do to make yourself feel better or to increase the chances of you feeling better, because even if you do everything perfectly right, it's still not always going to work. It becomes that much more difficult, and so the chances of you remaining in flop position or going in and out of it for several days or weeks even is much, much greater. You know, once you drop down there and you cannot do all of that self-care stuff, even the absolute basics like drinking enough water and remembering your medication, it really does just knock you for days. So I'm kind of worried. We've got a really busy weekend coming up, and there's already things that I'd expected to have done before now, or hoped to have done before now, that we haven't done, and this weekend coming is literally the last chance to get everything done before Stephen's parents arrive. I absolutely can't afford to have another weekend like last weekend. I can't. There is too much to be done. My list for tomorrow, which I think I've left upstairs, have these little pacing notes. I don't know if I've ever shown you them before, but they come from an absolutely brilliant site called Stickman Communications, and it's run by a woman who has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome herself, and one of her ways of coping was to draw these little cartoon stickmen showing how she felt, and she now draws those little stickmen onto flashcards, badges, stickers to put in cars, all kinds of things, with a little description of, you know, what the problem is, so that when you lose the power of coherent speech, which can happen not just with EDS, but she deals with other conditions. I don't think she has them all, but her own illness made her aware of other chronic illnesses. So she has these flashcards for all kinds of different diseases, you know, explaining what to do if someone has a diabetic hypo, or if someone suffers from a migraine or an epileptic seizure, or, you know, all of these things, or even just something that has the basic symptoms of your disease when it's a rare one or an unheard of one written down. It makes people believe a little bit better, rather than thinking that you've just made it up because you want to steal their seat on the bus or something. One of the things she does is these little pacing notes, and it's just a post-it note. They're only about this big, because if you made them any bigger, then you would be too tempted to write more than you can get done in one day on notes. And it's separated into I can't remember what she what her divisions actually are, but basically it's more like kind of like easy, moderate and difficult activities for you to do in the day, in the space to write about 3 things, with my handwriting anyway, underneath each of them. And tomorrow's pacing, the 3 most important things are all under the difficult or challenging section, because they all involve leaving the house. I have 1 day of meds left, so I have to go to the pharmacist, which is in the same complex as my doctor's surgery. So you know that's the boundaries of about how far I can walk, and when I get there I am collapsing. But it's too close for public transport to be a thing. You know, that if I took public transport it wouldn't shorten the distance. It would just cost me money. And I don't have access to the car tomorrow. I did today, but as I say, I wasn't fit to drive today. So there's that. I absolutely have to go and pick up my medication. I have to go to the post office and post these 2 letters. One of them is a postal vote. I'm fortunate in that at the moment you can do that. I don't know whether we're going to be able to for much longer. They're talking about bringing in the need to show ID, and I don't know how that's going to work with a postal vote at all. But it's very useful for people who are disabled and can't get to their local polling station on the day, and can't stand in queues waiting to go and put a cross in a box. And the final thing is my evidence for my personal independence claim, mandatory reconsideration, and I am sending that by recorded delivery. There's no way that I want that to get lost. It might not make any difference having my closest friends and family describe how they view my illness as impacting me, and how it impacts them on a day-to-day basis as well. But all I can do is try. So they have to be sent tomorrow. The deadline for getting my information in for the personal independence payment claim is the 29th, and today is the 25th. I really should have done it earlier, but either my health or availability of printers, other people's forgetfulness, has all got in the way of that. But it's ready to post, so that must be done. And I have a little bit of shopping that I need to do. That means I'm going to have to use public transport, and I'm going to have to go into town. And I desperately don't want to do it, but it needs doing. Things that I've run out of that I can't be doing without. And then I have laundry. Laundry is difficult enough. Like, that goes into the moderately challenging tab, because it involves carrying a basket down the stairs. Usually I get someone else to carry it back up when everything is wet and it needs to be hung out, and the weather isn't good enough to hang it outside. But at least I don't have to leave the house, and I do have all day to get that task done. So they are my tasks for tomorrow, and I'm really, they need to be done, you know, all of them. I'm running out of clean clothes for a start. but I'm dreading it. I've just been so awful the last few days. My brain isn't working properly at all. I'm sorry about yesterday and the camera cutting out. I didn't realise I'd filled up this memory card mostly with pictures of things that I've been knitting or yarn that I've bought. So I spent quite a long time last night deleting a lot of things that I don't need or that I've already copied to somewhere else. At least I hope I've already copied them somewhere else. It's entirely possible I haven't, and I've just deleted a whole load of useful photographs. But hopefully I've made enough space for this video. I'm not with it enough to really record anything else. I already can't remember what I've said and what I haven't said, and I'm pretty sure that I'm supposed to do some increases soon on this thing I'm knitting, but I can't remember when, so maybe I should put that down rather than continue. This is well, obviously this isn't a sweater, this is the sleeve of a sweater that I'm knitting for myself. Yeah, okay, that's it for now. Thank you again for watching, and night night everyone. Hopefully I'll be feeling better when I see you tomorrow.